Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to learn about implementing front-end and back-end full stack application using Docker with compose file, Docker compose file. So once all of you ensure that your notepad is ready with it. So yes, what is the use of making project with the compose file? Basically, the compose file is used outside the project for front end and back end if there are both front end and back end. If there is only front end, we can keep the Docker Compose file inside the front end. If only back end exists, we can keep the Docker Compose file inside the back end folder. But if both the things exist, means both front end and back end exist, means what we need to do? We need to place Docker file out of this particular both the folders. So that is the way how we need to arrange the project structure accordingly. So first what do we do is ensure you open the Docker desktop. So as well as also ensure that you are having your hub.docker.com logged in successfully. So it is logged in successfully. So no need of unnecessary comparisons. So then ensure that you open Jenkins. But as of now, Jenkins is something very uh, last one. Later we do that. So what we have to do is, I have done this process earlier. I will remove this. This is Jenkins integration. This practical for full stack is from Jenkins. But anyways, um, I will show you the process. So what do? We just open the particular file explorer folder. We will come into it. So actually this is practical 5. So in the lab 5, we used to have. So you can see that only we have a single command, also a single modification. This is not saved properly. Anyways, so this is the backend folder and this is the front end folder and this is the Docker compose. And here is the notes. So this is the only command that we use. So just copy that, close the file, and first of all, come to backend. Okay, ensure that here only open the VS Code. We are not trying to go with the Spring Boot. Uh, we can directly go with the VS Code. So open the VS Code, and then obviously what do? The main changes. We come to the SRC in the test. Oh, sorry, in the main. In the resources, application.properties, you have to change the password of the MySQL. Okay, so that is the first thing you have to do. Then open MySQL workbench, create a new connection, e-commerce. So what do? We delete this connection and we go on with creating a new connection in the e-commerce. Then we give the same password what we have given the VS Code. Just click enter and test the connection. Connection is successful and just okay. So enter into the schema and ensure that you delete. Like you can keep this as it is, better copy, but delete this particular schema. Just drop the schema. Drop now. So now again just create the scheme. E-commerce. So just apply it and finish it. So now we have successfully created the schema in the MySQL. Just come back to application properties. Yeah, close this and class level. Yeah. So now I'm going to discuss about this particular Docker Compose file. So what is the Docker Compose file? What is the thing we are doing here? This is the version of the Spring Boot. Basically, this is 3.9. But when we do for our full stack project, we have to ensure that this particular Docker command, like this particular version is from 2.7 like that. So such kind of things. And now ensure that you create this front end. In the building stage, what do? We create a dot slash front end folder. This is the path for front end project. What do we give as the Docker file? The existing Docker file. Means the file which is in the backend or the file which is in the front end. For backend, this is the Docker file. For front end, this is the Docker file. So close it. So here, next what do? We have to give the name of the container, e-commerce front end. This is the first change. I mean, the changes will be explained later. This is the first change. Next, what are these ports? See, this is a port for the Linux machine where the Docker will be trying to access internally. And this is the port for local ports. So we have two ports given. Next, why it is dependent on backend? Because we are using backend Docker file also for this process. So we link both front end and back end. So as front end is indirectly linked to back end, like if you keep any request for the front end, automatically the back end triggers and processes that request. For that purpose, if the particular Docker Compose file contains of this depend on backend means automatically the front end will trigger the backend when the project is running. The next one is e-commerce net. This is something used for the networking site in order to ensure that servers are reached properly. The next one is slash backend. This is for the backend. For the backend, we are creating the slash backend folder, means this folder. And here also we have the Docker file. So next, the container name, what do we give? E-commerce backend. And 8083 is the port. See here, internally, Linux port 8080, here also 8080, there is no issue with that. But localhost port number is 8082 can't be given here again as 8082. We have to change because already a port is assigned to a particular task. Again, if you try to assign the same port for another task, the first task might not work properly or might not function. The same network we give e-commerce net. And in the networks, e-commerce net, we give the driver as the bridge driver. Means it. What is the bridge driver here? The MySQL bridge driver we used to have, right? So that is the bridge driver. This is about Docker Compose. So now, uh, what do is we just open the terminal and we try to run the command. So let me ensure one thing that login. Yeah, wait. Docker login docker.io. Ensure that you log into the Docker through this command. Whenever you make a minimum change also, Docker might or might not trigger those changes. So better whenever you make a major change or a minor change, just ensure that you log in properly or ensure that you do the changes when you are logged in. So now what do? We just we. So now what happens now? Docker Compose is obviously known for this. Up ఏం చేస్తుందంటే this basically runs this Docker Compose file and starts the build process. So the build and test everything will happen in a single step. So just build start చేస్తే it will take some time. Mostly it will take uh, around 2 minutes. So you can see the backend is also running alternatively. Okay. Yes. So now what do is we come to docker.desktop. You can see here 14 seconds ago the started process was started. So what is this Docker Compose? This is the folder name. What is the container name that we have? E-commerce backend, e-commerce frontend. We are in the containers only, don't worry. These are the two different containers. So if you click on this only, you will get to access. You can access this. Or else you can also access these in a different way. Just click on this and you can directly click here. So why it is not coming? Because we gave slash e-commerce as the container name. So now this was working. Let me log out once and now let me sign up. So yes, 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 sign up successful. Just log in. Yes, yes, log in. So already the things these are not available. So what do? We just come to MySQL and run this command. It is successful. So if you refresh computers, yes, you can get this. But is this happening like one after the continuous integration? Is there existing continuous integration? No. Means a kind of okay. But every time user will not know that he has to refresh whenever there is an error. So for this particular purpose only, we are also trying to improve this process with Jenkins. So, guys, we have checked the front end, but what about the back end? So, just click on this particular local host. So, here what we have to give? We have to give back one, isn't it? So, just click back one. Yes, the backend is running properly. And come to MySQL and verify this. Just run this command. Yes, what are the changes we have done? They are reflecting here. So now, what do we do is we open Jenkins. Just wait a minute, guys. So whenever we use Jenkins, ensure that you restart. Ensure you restart Jenkins whenever you use. So just restart. Because sometimes Jenkins will run at the back end, but will not detect the changes as fast as it detects when it is running properly. So just close this and now localhost 8080. So it will redirect to Jenkins. So meanwhile, what do we have? This is the Docker Compose file. This is completed. The explanation is completed. So what we need to do now? We have to create a Git repository. I have already created and I had already pushed all the files from my personal repository to the particular CICD repository. Like means from my local repository to the global repository. I have completed all the things. So this is the repo I have 2 hours ago I have created. So you know right how to push the particular repository, push the particular files to the repository. So you do that directly and ensure that you take this URL, keep that copied. Now just log into the Jenkins and after logging into the Jenkins, we used to have new item. I already given right. So I will go with practical 5 full stack. One freestyle project. Okay. So now what is the thing is just select Git and paste the URL. So this is the skill 10 and practical 5 combination, guys. This is a concept oriented one, not the actual task. So concept oriented wise, the both the skill 10 and practical 5 both will be completed through this process. Here what do we give? We give main because I changed there. If you didn't run this command called git branch hyphen main, you need not to change here. You can keep master as it is. Then full SCM, star space, star space, star space, star space, star. Then delete workspace before build starts. Now in the build steps, Windows batch command, what do we do now? Uh, we used to copy these things. I'll explain what are these things and why are we copying. Docker compose up means the image creation, the build process, everything will start and will run properly. Down means the process will be stopping. Next is Docker RM hyphen F, e-commerce backend. So why we gave e-commerce backend? That is the name of the container. What is the name of the container we have? E-commerce backend. Next, why we gave e-commerce front end here? This is the second container that we have. So, what is meant by RM hyphen F? Whenever the new build starts, the previous files which are existing have to be recursively removed. Hyphen F in the sense remove, I mean recursive removal. RM means remove. That was known for everyone, right? Next, what is this one? Compose up hyphen D build. Hyphen D, like there is another command also, hyphen D skip test. Skip test is nothing but skipping the tests, whatever the internal tests that are happening when the build process starts. Those skips test will be, I mean, those tests will be skipped. But here, the situation is we are directly skipping, means we are not even skipping the test cases or the tests what are conducted internally, but we are directly going for the build. So what do we do is hyphen D hyphen build, and then we go for exit 0. And then click on save and apply. Within 1 minute, less than a minute, mostly the process will be completed. And I will share a screenshot for your reference how the process will be completed. Okay. So as I've already done this, so what do I do now? I just leave and come to this. So this is the one which was not built right. So what do? I just delete this project and I will show you how the output will run. So now I'm building. But here, ensure that you delete first. Delete the image or else you'll get error. I think now I'll get error because I didn't delete earlier. So what is the thing now? Practical 5 full stack backend app, Docker compose. These things we have to delete. Initially, we have to delete these things. And now, if you see in the console output, it is a failure. Delete build 6, that is better. So in the build file, you can see the console output is success. So just a minute, I'll show you that even. Just build now again. Just click the build again. So here you can see it is successfully completed. So the build process completed. Then where should we verify? Even after deletion, there is a container created again. Practical 5 full step. This is using Docker. Just verify it. Slash e-commerce. Yes, it is working. Next, what do we have? Um, this particular one, 8083. What do we have? We have to just click back one, isn't it? So yes, both front end and back end are working. And just as I've already used the same project with the same MySQL, as I have already pushed these things, now I'm getting these things. If I did not push Means if I did not run these commands or if I did not insert any items into the database, I will not get this particular output. So that's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.